So right here, I'm just brushing the hair all the way out. That way when I start my fade, it's gonna be like a nice foundation. You want all the hairs brushed to the flow of the hair. So I'm cutting from the temple area down to the ear since it's a high taper. And this is with the lever closed, and I'm balding out that section. So we're setting that first guideline where it's just a balded out from the ear to the temple area. And I'm getting all that hair underneath it with the lever closed. And I'm just brushing out the excess hair so I can see like what hairs I missed. And I'm bringing out this 2 guard with the lever closed. And this is gonna be just to set the foundation of the hair for the fade. So I'm going all the way up to the crown area. And with curly hair, so his is kind of curly, but it's not as coarse. So let's say, like with African American hair where they have really, really coarse curly hair, you want to brush it every time you hit it with the clippers. That's the difference between like curly hair and straight hair, where with straight hair you don't really have to brush it through, but with curly hair, because when you hit it with the clippers it curls back up. So if their hair is really curly, you want to brush it and hit it with the clipper twice, brush it. You just want to keep brushing it and hitting with the clipper. So I'm setting my foundation area with the 2 guard closed, and I'm going all the way up to the crown. That way it sets a nice surface for when I start to fade and set my other guidelines. And right here I'm just clipping up the excess hair, that way I don't hit it with my clippers accidentally. And normally I would hit this 2 guard all the way around the head, but just for demonstration purposes I'm working in sections. So right here, his hair's not that curly, so I can get away with hitting with the clippers without brushing it. But you'll see me brush it later on. So I'm setting my next guideline with the lever open. And I'm just going 1/4 inch up. And this is with the lever open. So I set that first guideline balded from the temple area to the ear. And I'm setting my next guideline 1/4 inch up from that first one with the lever open. And I'm not going past the ear because this is a taper. The reason you're not going past the ear is because when you line it around the head, you want it to be real nice and crisp. And if you go past the ear, then the lineup won't look as nice. So I'm using my liners to bald out the bottom section of this head from that first guideline. So we hit it with the clippers with the lever closed to set that first guideline, and I'm cleaning it up with the liners because they hit closer than the clippers with the lever closed. And right here, I'm just setting my next guideline with that 1 guard lever open. And it's the same thing, just 1/4 inch up, and I'm going right to the ear. You don't want to go past the ear with any tapers. If you go past the ear, it's kind of like a low fade at that point. So I set that next guideline. So if you look closely, you can see as the hair kind of curls up when I'm hitting it with the clipper. That's what I was talking about earlier, where you need to just brush it down and hit it with the clipper again, brush it down, hit it with the clipper. So I'm just making sure I'm hitting all the hairs. And you don't want to go too high when you're setting your guides. So now I'm going halfway closed because I cut in halves. It's still that 1 guard and it's halfway closed. And you don't want to go past that guideline that you set with the 1 guard, because if you go past it, then you're going to raise up that fade. So you're just going in between that guideline. So you want to be real careful, and you're just going in between. Now that dark line on the bottom, I'm hitting it with the lever closed with that 1 guard. And I'm getting rid of that last bottom line of that guide. And again, I'm not going past where I hit with the lever open. I'm just hitting that bottom line. Now I'm gonna finish it out with the 0 guard, lever open, because remember the 0 guard, lever open it's pretty much that one guard lever close, if you went through my guard system tutorial. And I'm just finishing out that last little line. Any dark spots you want to get rid of. Not going past your guideline that you've set. You're just working your way down. Now it's going to be halfway closed. And it's just that same system throughout the entire haircut. And you can use the same system when you're doing any type of fade. Once you get the system down, you can do any men's haircut. It's just where you start and end the fade. That's the difference between like different haircuts. But if you can get this little system down, then you can do any type of haircut. So I'm just hitting it with the corners of my clippers, trying to get those dark spots out. From when we did that transition from that first guideline with the lever open to the one guard lever open. Now this is the 1.5 guide. I'm hitting that hard line above that second guide that we set with the one guard lever open. This is the 1.5 guide lever closed, and I'm just barely going above it because it's going to transition into that 2 guard. You see how it's starting to fade out. You can see the fade coming together, and I'm just working my way up. So this is going to be the 1.5 guard halfway open on the lever, and I'm just working my way up, not going past the ear, not going all the way to the crown. I'm just making an even blend. And since that 1.5 guard with the lever open is pretty much a 2, I'm gonna bring it all the way up and finish out any axis hair that I've missed. This is that lever open. And any axis hair that I missed when I hit it with the 2 guard, I'm just hitting it with this. Hey. Now I'm doing the same thing on the back. So I'm clipping this hair up so I don't accidentally cut it. I'm gonna brush the hair down. That way we have a nice foundation. And when you're doing a taper on the back, you wanna keep it like right around the earlobe area. So I'm setting that, so when you set your ball guideline, you wanna keep it at below the earlobes. That's the highest you should go for a taper. So I'm setting that foundation with the 2 guard. Just like what we did on the side. Getting all that axis hair, getting a clean foundation. Working my way around the head. And like I said, if I was doing a regular haircut, I would have done this all around the head first. But just for demonstration purposes, I'm setting it in sections. So see how I'm brushing the hair out? That way it's nice and even, it's not curled. Going back at it again. And if you have real coarse curly hair, then you gotta keep brushing it out and hitting it with the clippers. So right here, there's the earlobes, the bottom of the earlobes. When you're doing your balding, you don't want to go past those earlobes. Since he's looking down, it's gonna kind of look like I'm going past it, but when he looks back up, it's just kind of the angle of the camera, I feel. So I'm just going right across. Now you can bring the taper lower if you want it just like a nice tight taper, or you can bring it higher, but the highest you should ever go is just right below the earlobe. And you're just making a straight, even guideline balded out. And it's just like what we did on the side. So right here I have the lever open, and I'm just setting that next guideline 1/4 inch up. I'm going halfway. So I'm just finishing out that bottom section. This is the lever halfway open. So I made that first guideline with the lever open, and then I'm working my way down with the lever halfway open. And I'm just hitting the rest of that area. So if you can see that guideline that we set, it's transitioned into a balding area. the balding guideline. And I'm hitting the rest of the hairs below it with my liners just because it hits a lot closer. Just like what we did on the side of the head with the taper, it's the same exact thing. Same exact steps. If you know these steps and you get them down, you can do any haircut. Because it's the same steps with any type of haircut. You're doing a mid-ball fade, the same steps. If you're doing a one fade, it's the same steps, but you take away the balding step, so it's just a 1 to a 2, and it makes it easier. So I'm setting my next guideline right here with that one guard lever open, a 1/4 inch up, just like what we did on the side of the head. As you can see, his hair is starting to curl a little, so you would want to brush it out, hit it with the clippers. You want to keep it real tight. I'm just making sure that that guide hit all the hairs. Now I'm gonna go lever close and hit that bottom line. From that, we set that guideline with the lever open without the guard, and that lever close is just gonna hit that bottom guide that transitions from the guideline with the clipper, no guard, lever open, to the one guard, lever open. It just transitions over. And I'm just hitting that bottom line out. I'm just working my way down now. So this is at 0 guard, lever open, hitting that bottom line. I'm not going past my guide, because if I go past the guide, then it's gonna raise the fade, and you don't want that. Because then you'll have to rework the fade, refix it up, and it's bringing the fade up. I'm just hitting that bottom section area. So next I'm just gonna finish it out. So where we set that one guide with the lever open, now I'm going to the 1.5 guide with the lever closed and just going barely above it. So it can blend from that one guard lever open to the 2 that we set with the foundation. I'm just barely hitting it. Making sure it's all even. So right here, since the blend is even now, we finished the fade, we're gonna line up the sides of the back. So you just wanna keep it really natural, where it naturally grows, and you're just going straight down. You're just barely tapping it with your liners. And that's how you line up the back. So just where it naturally grows, you don't wanna bring it in, because when it grows back, it's gonna look really weird. And you don't want that. So on this section of the head, we're doing the same exact steps. This is we're balding it out, going from the temple to the ear, balding it out even closer with the liners. Just making sure it's even right here. So we have that whole nice foundation. Now this is with the lever open. I'm doing the same exact steps. So I'm just bringing it a 1/4 inch up, not going past the ear. The same thing, that 1.5 guard, or that one guard with the lever open. Setting my next guideline, just a 1/4 inch up, the same exact steps. I'm going halfway closed, going slightly below it, not going past that guideline that we set, and now I have the lever closed. Now it's that 1.5 guide with the lever closed, working into the 2. Right here, I'm just kind of cleaning it up. So if you see a dark spot, you want to go from like your biggest guide and work your way down until that dark spot's gone. Because you don't want to go too short when you see like any dark spots because you missed anything on the fade, and you don't want to go too short, because if you go too short and you hit that line and it's too short, it's too late. Like, you can take off hair, but you can't put it back on. So I'm just finishing out that blend. Now I'm just going all the way up to the crown with that 2. I'm just finishing out the taper right here. Brushing the hair out, see what I've missed. Now I'm gonna finish a lineup where it's natural, going around the ear, brushing the hair out so I can see what I've missed. Right here, I'm just kind of spraying it with like a little spritz or water, just so you can brush the hairs down in the front, and it'll be a nice foundation for when you start lining. So you want to look at the lineup's kind of tricky for his, especially because it kind of grows roundedly. So you want to, when you brush the hair out, you want to kind of look at it and just imagine a straight line, and where it's going to be nice and natural. So for him, he has a natural widow's peak, which I took off because he doesn't really want it. He just wants it kind of straight across. And you're just barely tapping that hair. You don't want to push it too far back, because when it grows back, it's going to look really ugly. So you want to keep it just super natural, where it lays evenly, where it naturally grows. And when you're looking at the side of the lineup, you want to look at his eyebrow. So it should be where that arc of the eyebrow starts. That's where the side of the lineup should be. Now his grows a little bit past it naturally, so I wouldn't go too far back. I would just hit it where it naturally grows. See, I'm just going straight across the forehead. You might want to step back and look at the lineup when you're doing it, because when I first started, my lines would always end up crooked, and it took me a while to get it perfectly straight every time, and I still have trouble with it, not gonna lie. But I'll just step back, look at it, reassess it. I'll say, okay, it needs to go up just a little bit right here, keeping it real natural. See where that arc is on the eyebrow. I'm just going a little bit behind it because that's where his naturally grows. Making sure the points, those corners, are nice and clean, even. You want it pointy, it's just straight across. And I'm just hitting the arcs of his side. So right here, you want to hit it where it's natural again. You want to make it kind of like a quarter circle, like it's just a nice even arc. Hitting those points, those those corners, making sure it's nice and crisp. So that's a whole haircut right here. I lined him up around the whole head, hit him with the high taper fade, and that should end it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next video.